a whole nother level. Think you can blow me and then still wouldn't be able to get it. Do you want that beat? Do you want that beat? Do you want that? Do you want that? Do you want that beat? Now slide, drop, show them but don't stop, ayy, don't stop, ayy, don't stop, ayy. Put it on that beat, put it on that beat, put it on that beat, put it on that beat.
Good afternoon, everyone. Let's give everyone a round of applause. Come on now, you can do better than that. This is a jam, an end of the summer reading program jam. And so we're going to be jamming, and we want everyone in the room to participate. All the boys and girls, I think, and any adults that want to sit on the floor, welcome to come up front. Good afternoon again. My name is Wayne Crocker. I am the director of the Petersburg Public Library, and I'm so happy to see everyone here today. And how many of you participated in our summer reading program? Everybody raise your hands. Great. Yay! And just so the adults know, we also have an adult summer reading program, so we didn't want to leave anyone out. And I hope if you have a few minutes, you can sign up for our adult summer reading program as well. We are so happy to see so many of you here today at our end of the summer jam for our summer reading program. Summer reading is so important to the Petersburg Public Library. We feel that to keep skills up during the summer is really important. A lot of times children that are in school have built up their skills to a point, and we want to continue those skills throughout the summer. Make sure they don't slide. And so we have fun activities. We try to make learning fun here at the Petersburg Public Library. And Ms. Yolanda told me that for our summer reading program, it's probably higher, we had over 500, close to 600 children to register for our summer reading program. And I think that's fantastic. And just like you see today, where there are some great prizes for participating in our events, we had some great prizes for reading, because reading is important. And so we want to make sure you get rewarded for reading. And so if you haven't signed up, you have until tomorrow to sign up, and you can still win some prizes. So hopefully you participate in the summer reading program. For how many people this is their first time at the Petersburg Public Library? Whoa. Okay, sounds like we have to do some tours before this program is over. But please take a few minutes and see what is going on at the library. We keep a lot of activities going on. As you may have seen when you walked in, we have a market that you can buy fresh fruits and vegetables. We're about to expand that so you can learn how to cook food that you buy in the market. You can learn over in our learning kitchen how to cook it. And so there are really a lot of exciting things going on here at the Petersburg Public Library. But this is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event here today. And it is my pleasure to introduce the next speaker. His name is Mr. Steve Ford, and he is the Director of Medicaid for the state of Virginia. Let's give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. I just want to say it's an absolute pleasure to be here today to join in the celebration of the power of reading and the incredible impact of the Reach Out and Read program. I want to acknowledge Governor Spanberger's commitment to Virginia's children, families, and communities, and how that shapes the day-to-day activities of her administration. I'm also very glad to be here with my immediate boss, Secretary Marvin Figueroa, who constantly reminds his agencies, including my own, that we are here to serve and to provide improved health opportunity and support for Virginia families, and that is the center of the work we do under the HHR Secretary. I want to thank Director Croak and the Petersburg Public Library, Reach Out Virginia, community leaders, educators, the librarians, the pediatric providers who we rely on, and everyone who made today possible. Most importantly, to the families and the children here, your excitement matters. Reading aloud supports language development, strengthens the bond between child and caregiver, and creates time for listening, talking, and learning together. And preventive care is not limited to screenings and immunizations. It also means giving families practical tools that support healthy development and as a child enters the classroom. Reach Out and Read is an evidence-based model that brings books and early literary guidance into routine pediatric primary care visits, where families already have trusted conversations about the child's health and development. During those visits, pediatric clinicians can provide a book and encourage families to read aloud, talk together, and make shared reading part of everyday life. Reach Out and Read reports 117 Virginia program sites serving over 146,000 children and families and distributing over 225,000 books. To Virginia's pediatric providers, thank you. When you help parents understand the value of their voice, attention, and time, your influence reaches beyond the exam room. Parents and caregivers do not need a perfect routine. A few minutes with a book, a conversation about the pictures, a familiar bedtime story can make reading feel natural and welcoming. Libraries like this one extend that support with access to books, trusted guidance, and safe gathering spaces. Libraries like this one turn reading into joy, and joy is what keeps children coming back to read. So the Commonwealth's budget language creates an opportunity for Medicaid to use a special financing mechanism through the Children's Health Insurance Program, commonly known as CHIP, to pilot using Reach Out and Read in select underserved areas. Once we secure federal approval, Virginia will be able to use a portion of its CHIP funding, which includes federal matching dollars, to improve children's health by connecting early literacy, parental bonding, and routine pediatric care using Reach Out and Read. Other states have done this, and we're looking forward to entering into the fray on that. DMS will measure what the pilot achieves and report to the federal government how it's going, and to the Virginia General Assembly as well. Governor Spanberger has called for practical results that strengthen Virginia families and public schools. Helping young children build healthy foundations before they reach the classroom supports that goal. A healthy start should include the chance to hear stories, learn new words, build strong relationships, and enter school ready to grow. The strongest results come when families, pediatric providers, libraries, community organizations, and government work together around the needs of each child. I encourage every family to keep the summer reading spirit going. Visit the library, let children choose books that interest them, and make time to read and talk together. Thank you for welcoming us to Petersburg and for helping Virginia's children grow healthier, more confident, and ready for what comes next. Now, before I conclude, I have the privilege of introducing someone whose leadership helps bring efforts like this together across the Commonwealth. As mentioned, Secretary Marvin Figueroa leads Virginia's Secretariat of Health and Human Resources, bringing together the agencies that support health, well-being, and success of children and families every day. He understands that improving health looks beyond a doctor's office. It means investing in strong families, strong communities, and opportunities that help children thrive from the very beginning. The partnership we celebrate today between healthcare providers, libraries, educators, and families reflects that vision, and we are grateful for his leadership and commitment to this important work. Please join me in welcoming Virginia's Secretary of Health and Human Resources, Secretary Marvin Figueroa.
I just want to start off by saying that it's so good to be in Petersburg. It is a place that reminds me in many ways of the place where I come from, the Bronx. I see young people growing up in a city with a history and with pride, with struggle and possibility. I know what it looks like to come from a place that is oftentimes misunderstood. I know what it's like to grow up surrounded by challenges, but also surrounded by people who love you, who believe in you, and who expect something from you. My mother came to this country from Honduras. She was a school teacher there. Here in the States, she became a home health aide. She did not have much time. We did not have much money, but she gave me something that mattered much more. She passed on her love of learning. She passed on her curiosity, and she made me believe that where I started did not have to determine where I ended. And books helped me imagine what was possible. Books took me to places that I'd never been before. They introduced me to people I had never met. They helped me imagine a future larger than the neighborhood directly in front of me. And reading also helped me find my voice. Because of it, I joined the debate team in high school, and it changed my life. Debate taught me how to use words, and it taught me they were way more powerful than fists. It taught me to listen before I answered, to make my case without losing respect for the person across from me, and to stand in a room and believe that what I had to say also mattered. And those lessons have stayed with me. They carried me from the Bronx to Vanderbilt, then Harvard, the United States Senate, the White House, and now I get to serve you all. But before any of the titles that I carry, there was a little black boy with a book. That is why today matters. So to every young person here, when you read, you are not simply finishing a story, you're building your own. You are learning how to think, how to question, how to imagine, and how to choose a future for yourself. And you are not alone in crafting this future, because you have a community behind you, helping you stand on business. It happens because a mother or a grandmother or a loved one reads after a long shift, because a librarian helps find the right book, because a teacher keeps encouraging a child who is struggling, because a doctor places a book in a young person's hand and reminds a family that reading is a part of growing healthy and strong. That is what community looks like here in Petersburg. That is what community looks like in general. It's about people coming together around a child and saying, your future matters to us. That is what Reach Out and Read Virginia represents. And Virginia's new budget will help bring that work to more communities, because we are not going to allow where you live and where you grow up to determine how far you will get in life. So to the young people today here in Petersburg, I want to encourage you to keep reading, keep asking questions, keep using your words, keep dreaming beyond what anyone else may see for you today, because I believe in you. We believe in you. And all of us here have the responsibility to help you write your next chapter. Thank you.
The only physician in the General Assembly. This is my first year in the General Assembly, and I'm also the only pediatrician in the General Assembly. And yes. So when I was approached to kind of carry legislation and bring this forward to the General Assembly, I was all in. Because as part of my job as a pediatrician, and tomorrow I will celebrate my 25th year as a pediatrician in Williamsburg. And I did the quick math in my head. I was also an engineer, but over my 25 years, I've probably seen 75,000 kids come through my office. And for the majority of those, my practice has been part of the Reach Out and Read program. So I'm intimately aware of this program and how it's really benefited everyone in my community. And I think the work that we're doing in the General Assembly and in partnership with DMAS in the state, we're going to be able to extend that opportunity to so many more clinics and providers across the Commonwealth to make that impact even more important and more targeted to the people that need it the most, that don't have the resources that other places have. Just to kind of go through what I do every day. I was in my office this morning seeing, a 4-month-old, handing him that first book, talking to the parents for the first time about the importance of reading. They're worried about how many diapers they need to buy, what formula to buy, but starting that conversation early that Start reading to them now. They may not understand the words, but it's gonna become part of your day. It allows that family to really take that time out to bond with their child. So it's not just a literacy program, which is how it was really originally founded, but it really is formed strong bonds, allows families to form strong bonds over something that is so impactful as they approach early childhood education, as they approach kindergarten. So every visit, it's 15 visits that we are able to hand out a book from birth all the way up to age 5. So at a minimum, every kid comes in through my practice has 15 books to really, and 15 times I get to reinforce, slow down, get off the tablet, get off the iPhone, spend time with your kid, talk to them, really emphasize the words on the page, use it as a springboard to talk about other things that are affecting their lives. And it's one thing to learn how to speak, but learning that language skills, that's what's so critical, being able to put those words in context. And that's what the Reach Out and Read program really amplifies and allows me as a provider to really stress that with the individuals and parents and grandparents and aunties, all those people that are coming in that are part of the kids' lives. So it's been critically important in our practice to kind of promote that. And I can't be any more proud as a freshman legislator to carry this really bipartisan effort. This is something, with the polarization we have in our country, this is something that we got almost unanimous kind of bipartisan support. My colleagues on the Senate side, Senator Mamie Locke, Senator Todd Pillion carried the bill and the budget amendment on the Senate side. I carried it on the House side, and we got it into the budget. And this is just a stepping stone. I hope we can build on this, and as we start providing this resource and the opportunity for more clinics and more practices and more providers across the Commonwealth, with the ultimate goal that every child that sees a pediatrician in Virginia is part of this program. So I can't wait to see all the good work that's going to happen. I can't wait to see how it's going to benefit communities that haven't had this opportunity before. And I'm going to keep fighting for things that really benefit our communities, benefit our kids. And that's been my driving, my North Star being in the General Assembly, is to really provide for our families and kids. So thank you, for having me here. Thank you for all the work you do here at the Petersburg Library. This is tremendous. One other little anecdote, and this is where I get a lot of my education, so to speak. My wife is a K-5 special education teacher, and she has drilled into me the importance of getting kids started early, that we need to start in preschool. We need to start before that to really make sure that they're ready when they hit kindergarten. So I give her a lot of credit for my passion, but I can't wait to see how far this program reaches and hopefully continue to grow it. We're in Virginia, we start off with incremental steps. We hope to build from here. And thanks for all the people that have really advocated for this in the past. I was happy to come in at the tail end and really get it across the finish line. And I can't wait to see what happens going forward. So keep reading. It also benefits us as pediatricians because we can identify, issues and developmental concerns with kids as they come in. We're also seeing that it also keeps parents and kids off of the iPhone and the tablet and actually interact with their kids. So I can't wait to see what this program will do for families going forward. And thank you all for having me, and let's get to work.
And the journey has been one that started when I was a little girl, very much like you all sitting here. I grew up in a place called Surry County, Virginia, which is rural, not too far from here. And the most important thing my parents taught me is the love of reading. Every household that I had the opportunity to visit as I was growing up had a set of encyclopedias. How many in this room had encyclopedias at your house? Okay. And the library for me was very, very far away. There was a bookmobile that came from Richmond and made the rounds, Surry County and other rural areas in the Tidewater area. There I learned the love of reading in an environment where we had one TV, 3 channels, no video games, no cell phones, Reading was fundamental and very necessary. That's why you all are here. The other thing I will tell you is that we had a grant, we wrote a grant to participate with the Reach Out and Read program several years ago, and it was very gratifying to see the children come into my office, and they looked forward to coming every visit, regardless of whether they had to have shots or anything, because they knew they would leave with a book. Then came pandemic. We could no longer hand out the books because they were, quote, germy, and we couldn't have any toys in the waiting area. And one of my 5-year-old patients said, "Dr. Bell, I not get a book?" I said, "No, baby, you can't have a book." I said, "But we do have a gift card and you can go and buy a book." And so we started to do that for a while, and we continued to hand out books to the little ones. Reading helps you to do everything else that you do in your life. If you can read, that is your ticket. And as Dr. Figueroa said, it doesn't matter what you look like, where you came from. Just from where you came from doesn't tell you where you're going to go. So pick up that book. Read it. I don't care if it's a comic book, a Bible study, whatever. Read something. But this program that we have in place now, through the governor and the legislation, will allow each one of you to have a book wherever you go to your doctor's office. And I should tell you, after 40 years of being in private practice, I now, since July 1, am the pediatrician working at Central Virginia Health Services downtown. And in the short time that I have been there, I'm loving it. I want to take care of children until God says I can't do it anymore. So reach out and read and grow.
Before we dismiss, I would be remiss if I didn't thank those people who made this possible. And I'd like to start out with members of the library staff, Yolanda Richer, Autumn Burn King, and other staff members we have throughout the facility. Please join me in giving them a round of applause. Yolanda and Autumn are in our children's department. If you haven't seen our children's department, we have a great space. As part of that space, we have a room called the Imagination Station, because we feel whatever you can imagine, you can accomplish. And so we have creative activities and encourage children to be creative in that space.